Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is our pleasure at LexisNexis to be facilitating this 25th Annual Labor Law Conference, and we wish you well in your deliberations over the next few days. We would also like to pass our thanks on to the Annual Labor Law Conference Organizing Committee, comprising the Universities of Cape Town, KwaZulu-Natal, and the Witwatersrand for allowing us to use this conference platform to raise awareness about human trafficking in South Africa. What I want to talk to you about very briefly right now is not this conference itself, but something very much connected to the theme of this conference: decent work in a sustainable workplace. Human trafficking is the modern-day equivalent of slavery, and it's alarmingly prevalent in our society and in many others around the world. Human beings, men, women, and children, are shipped across borders and moved within borders, never to be employed in anything remotely resembling decent work. These people are denied their most basic human and workplace rights. Globally, LexisNexis has, as part of our commitment to supporting the rule of law, been engaged in the battle against human trafficking for a number of years now. Last year, LexisNexis South Africa organized and hosted a screening event where we showcased the internationally acclaimed documentary Red Lights to industry experts, legal professionals, employees, and citizens to create a far broader awareness of this horrific issue. And this year, we have a new documentary available on DVD called Not My Life. This documentary focuses on children across a number of different countries who are the main victims of trafficking. It is 80 minutes long, and I urge every one of you to view the copy of this documentary, which we will give to you as you enter the cocktail venue this evening. Those 80 minutes will open your eyes to the scale and the horror of this problem. We will also be handing out copies of this documentary to every conference delegate, and we would like to encourage all of you and everyone who is attending the conference to share the copy with as many colleagues, family members, and friends in order to generate more awareness around this heinous problem. At LexisNexis South Africa, we've also been working on another, more practical and meaningful intervention to the fight against human trafficking in our country, where we have particular issues with farm workers who are trafficked from neighboring countries, women who are trafficked as sex workers from all over our continent and the world, and children who are captured and trafficked as child labor of many kinds, including forced begging, sex work, and what amounts to domestic servitude. In the process of finding a role for LexisNexis in the fight to end human trafficking, we consulted with the KZN Provincial Task Team comprising of the South African Police Services, representatives of the Justice Cluster, and various NGOs. What we concluded that we could bring meaning by focusing on what we do best at LexisNexis, and that is to supply information in a coherent and accessible way. The result of our work is this compendium, which comprises South African legislation that's existing and proposed, which in any way impacts on human trafficking. Our existing legislation in this area is a complex cobweb of the draft legislation, the Prevention of and Combating of Trafficking in Persons Bill, and is designed to bring coherence to the issue. That draft is included in this compendium, together with a range of applicable laws, including the Prevention of Organized Crime Act, the Children's Act, Sexual Offences Act, and the Immigration Act, which we will continue to use, particularly in the absence of this comprehensive piece of legislation. Our intention is to provide everyone in the fraternity, particularly the specialized enforcement and prosecution units, with a ready reference guide to the weapons that they already have available to tackle those who are responsible for human trafficking and to protect the myriad victims that they subject to this form of slavery. This compendium is, as you can see, a box set of A6-size pocketbooks, which are small enough for the authorities to take on the road with them, and yet comprehensive enough to act as a complete reference in the office. We are also working with our colleagues in the police force and expect to load the contents of the compendium onto a website as a free add-on in the near future. We have created the content for and produced 1,000 copies of these box sets entirely at our cost in the genuine hope that they will make a real difference and prove to be invaluable. We believe that awareness of the law and awareness of people's rights is the first and most crucial step to stopping the abuse of those rights and ensuring that the rule of law prevails. Like everyone at LexisNexis, I'm very proud of this project and delighted that it has reached such a tangible fruition. I'd therefore like to ask Brigadier Leon Gossman of the SAPS to come forward and receive the first of these 1,000 LexisNexis anti-human trafficking compendiums. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Please proceed to the cocktail function in the foyer.